Alright, this project right here is based on a blog entry I read on IEEE's blog. The idea is that someone had made a glove that used haptic feedback to help someone more quickly learn a piano piece. Their method only used one glove. Mine, I tried to develop the idea with two gloves. Mine are more so finger slide-ons. And then I have some vibrating feedback motors in here. These are the resonant-based ones, so that way they're smaller. And then here I have programmed some software that takes any MIDI file, MIDI music file, and based on the key span the user enters down here, this is the maximum amount of white keys they can span with one hand. I'm going to enter 10 here. It will then split up that all the notes for that piano piece into the left and right hand based on the user's input, which is an interesting idea for one because it's allowing you to both passively learn a piano piece, and it also is customizing the learning based on the user's parameters. Now, what the researchers found in the original article I read is that the haptic feedback in the for each finger is enough to induce muscle memory. That way, even if you're not intentionally focusing on the particular piano piece, the vibrating feedback is enough to induce the memory itself. That way, you can take off the glove and that you can still play the piano piece. Now, because mine is a little more complicated with two pieces, two hands here, it was definitely a little trickier to develop software for it. But let me load in some MIDI software here. This is a MIDI file from Final Fantasy X, the video game. And then let me tell it to send serial here. I also programmed it over here to where it will play the audio based on some piano samples. And what it's going to do is it's going to send some the fingers that it identified over serial via a hex encoded. So let me press play here. Alright, for demonstration purposes I'm going to turn it down, but as you can see here, yellow is left, red is right, and then my algorithm is using Hysteresis to try to find the appropriate finger positions based on a moving average for each hand. That way it doesn't favor the first finger in each hand, which I found just through a more simplistic method it does. And then the actual project, the vibration is being based on this here. I have an Arduino Mega. That's a little excessive for this project, but I just had one laying around. And then I have simple NPN transistors here and some diodes for back EMF protection. And then, as you can see here, it's breaking down the piano piece for me. And you probably can't tell, but it's vibrating my fingers right now based on the active finger numbers here. I also have it up here too. It'll tell me if it's dropped any keys. Since it is a customized learning software, if the user's own entered parameters are not enough to reach a certain key or keys, it'll tell me that it's dropped them up here. It'll drop the keys silently, except for this little warning. That way it won't interrupt your learning process. You can slow down, so let me put audio back on here. You can speed it up. or you can slow down the playback, which is important because through, at least I found, passive learning with the haptic feedback is best done at a slower pace, and then you can gradually increase it as you become more adept at the particular piece you're learning. You can also increase the chunk count here. So let's increase this. Let's put this playback speed at normal. Now it's going to loop through a certain section of the piano piece, and then I can also select what section I want to play. I did this because if you're practicing a large piano piece, it's going to create some issues if it's really large, and even with the haptic feedback, you're not going to be able to learn it all at once. So that way you can do it in stages and chunks, if you will. That's pretty much the project as is. There's still a little bit of work that needs to be done on the key assignments. Doing that from a programmatic standpoint, I found to be very, very difficult. It's still a little work to do on that end, but it's definitely a good start. And to show you too that this is definitely a dynamic, let me just load any other MIDI file I want in here. So let's do this one. And then there you go, it's already processed it. Now let's press play. And then it's processing all this right now for me, and then sending those into my hand for trying to induce muscle memory. That's pretty much as this project stands at the moment. I have released the software to open source under a public software license, so anyone is free to download the software and try to improve it if they want. I hope you guys find this useful, and hopefully you guys can get some use out of the software I developed as well.